All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do group well. And I would like to say peace and salutations to the Lord's elect, to the hopeful elect in the 1/3. And Adawan Ratazah, this lesson will be edifying as well as, most importantly, exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash, and the Wada Abanawa Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash, for giving me the inspiration to do this lesson. Truly, the Wada Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. And just want to do a quick exhortation, quick prophetic exhortation. I just got some quick downtime while I'm here at the plantation. And as you see the title, I put Vanity is Dangerous, okay? And I might title it Remember Vanity is Dangerous, or Be Aware of Vanity, something along those lines. But I got a few precepts that I put together, and I just want to, send out a spiritual reminder, okay? Because in these last days, the exhortation that we've been given, we have to continue to apply it. All right. If it says be a living sacrifice and you started that in the beginning, you have to remain that in the end. If the Spirit said our salvation is nearer than we believe, and you believe that in the beginning, you also have to believe that now, most importantly, while we're at the end. OK, so I really want to push this for the brothers and the very few sincere sisters. OK, the living sacrifices. You have to truly understand that the vanity that's around you, okay, is dangerous. All right. Now, real quick, let's actually go into this word vanity. So when you look this word vanity up, I pray the audio as well. It says that which is vain, futile, worthless, self-conceit, lack of resolve. Let's see, emptiness, aimlessness. Okay. Vain glory, foolish pride, idle. All right. So in these last days, all these different points right here, okay, are things that you have to be mindful, especially right now. You got to be mindful on the dangers of emptiness, the dangers of pride, vainglory. And that's what Babylon produces. Babylon has become a mogul, all right, for pride. Let me get into the scriptures before I continue to speak. Proverbs 30:8, remove far from me vanity. So we, on the contrary, we want vanity far from us. I don't want to be attached to vanity. I don't want to be attached to vainness. I don't want to be attached to pride. I don't want to be attached to none of that BS, okay? Because it's not going to get me anywhere closer to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. In fact, vanity pulls you away. Vanity will pull you from your power, man. And you have to be careful what is in your life that is vain and taking up your time. And, hey, I tell you what, man, the Lord is with you. If you don't get rid of it, the Lord will get rid of it. OK, so look, remove far from me vanity and lies. We don't want to be around no lies, no bullshit, wickedness, evilness. There's a lot of things that we deal with and even put up with, and you don't have to. OK, especially now in these end days, hey, man, you don't owe no one nothing. OK, so get out of that spirit. Get out of that woe is me. Get out of that I always got to be loyal to everybody, but everybody ain't loyal to me. We got a whole family right here. We got the whole house of David, cheering us on, constantly doing videos, constantly exhorting us. This is truly where the love is, man. The love is with the brotherhood. The love is within the body. I keep saying it, and that's one of our curses, man, is Jake is, if you will. I'm saying that in a statement sense. I want to qualify that, but Jake is famous for looking for love in all the wrong places. And here it is, you got love. So you got to be careful that love that you're looking for is actually vain. All right. It says, give me neither poverty nor riches. Do you know how powerful that is to be content with what you have? I was literally meditating upon this last night to myself, how powerful it is for you to accept the fact that you are content with what you have. That's an amazing thing, because that means that you're not caught up in vanity. Okay, being content with what you have means you're not caught up in vanity. Okay, because other people are not content, so they want what? Vain things. They want emptiness things. They want things that are not going to bring them closer to their power. See, we want to be only surrounded by what's going to keep us or bring us closer to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I don't want to be around things that are going to bring me far away. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean that like physically, mentally, spiritually, or let's just say all the above, all three? Okay, so many vain things are around that can take your mind from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. I get we have downtime. You know, I get we have all this. I get we have that. But now, the time we're in, you got to remind yourself to read more. You got to remind yourself to stop doom scrolling. You got to remind yourself to fucking get your head out your ass. Get your head out the woman's ass. These are things that we, as men of the Lord of the hopeful elect, are reminding ourselves in while being in the midst of the days of Noah, man. Do you know how powerful that is? And it says, feed me with food convenient for me. See? So we're being fed with what we need. You're being fed with what you need, not what you want. And another thing, in this walk, you're going to realize if the Lord has to, he's going to put you in a position where you have to accept what he's giving you and not necessarily what you always want. You know, because the Lord can spoil you. Even in a low condition, the Lord can spoil you, have things for you, but then he can also take them from you. Okay, so we're in the time where we need exactly what we need to keep us at the altar, to keep us reading, to keep us doing lessons, to keep us studying, to show ourselves approved. Because if not, we're going to be consumed with vanity. We're going to be consumed with emptiness. That shit is dangerous, man. Vanity is dangerous, okay? And brother to brother, women are vain, all right? Women are vain, okay? There's a lot of vanity. What do they call it when a woman sits in? They call it a vanity, all right? You sisters know what I'm talking about, okay? So, you know, you're just going to have to truly be mindful of what you have taken up your time. And if it's not serving the Lord, you gotta weigh it out and see, is this vain? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? See? It says, verse 9, lest I be full and deny thee, see, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain. So you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful of what you're wanting and what you're needing. Because sometimes in this walk, you could want more vanity than what you need. All right, look, Psalms 119 and 37. Turn away my eyes from beholding vanity. Yeah, it gets to the point where you just like, bro, I'm good. You know, you just get to the point in this walk where you'll realize certain things that are vain, unfruitful, and you don't need it. Like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to even indulge my spirit into that. I don't need to take mental energy and put it into that. And let me just also add that in real quick is, you know, be mindful of what vanity is trying to fill your mind too. Be mindful of these vain emotions that can circle through this sinful body, and do not let that vain emotion consume you, man, because you start getting off into a daze. You know, you start just not being productive. I just wanted to make sure the audio is good. And it says, and quicken thou me in thy way. See, so we got to be quickened. We got to actually be put back in that first love spirit. If you notice it dwindling, okay, we got to make sure the oil is lit. And it's a battle. Because why? Romans 8 and 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity. So it is a battle for you to at point in times forsake vanity, because ultimately we've been subject to it. So now we have to fight against vanity, but you have to pinpoint in your in particular walk what is vain for you and taking up your time, and what are you going to do about it to stop that. Because Yahweh Shai said, remember thy first love. We have to remember our first love, and we should not love vanity. We should not love emptiness. We should not love vainglory. Okay, we should not love those things. It says not willingly. So there's things that you're going to go through that you don't even want to go through. You know, the Lord can have you go through things that you don't want to go through, but what you've gone through now is strengthening you, and then being converted, you can strengthen the brethren. You have experience, okay? And then other brothers that may not have the experience, now they'll come across that lesson, get that exhortation, and then they're fully persuaded. It says, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh. That's a beautiful thing, man. That's truly a beautiful thing, and that's ultimately what we're waiting for. So within this walk, chasing vanity, being amongst vanity, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. You could fall. You could fall while being in the midst. You will fall in the midst of vanity, man. Okay, and you have to be truly careful about what you're giving your time over to, because that simple time turns into a routine, and now that routine turns into characteristic, and now you find yourself not doing the things that you should be doing because now your time is occupied in vanity. This is why Apostle Paul said, thy salvation is nearer than when we believe. Wake up out of sleep. You got to snap yourself out of that shit like, oh yeah, I'm tripping. What am I doing? I'm tripping. See? But it says a righteous man falls. So what makes a person fall? When they trip. So check this out. Ephesians 4:17. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind. Okay, and what's the vanity of their mind? Let's just be honest. Now, there's things that are lawful, but it's also not expedient. Okay, the vain Gentile lifestyle, all right? The vain Gentile lifestyle is just to be in the flesh. So you got to be careful that you're not giving your time too much to the vainness of the flesh. You got to be careful that you're not giving too much time to the vainness of the flesh, man. All right, because that shit is going to get you caught up. And vanity don't care about you, man. Emptiness don't care about you. Emptiness, vanity is set up like a casino. All right, it wants to devour you. It says, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Yahweh through the ignorance that is in them because of the blindness of their heart. See? Now look, and what did they get blinded by? Vanity, the flesh. It says, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. So lust, coveting, fleshly sexual desire, just constantly wanting to, deal with women. That's vain, bro. Constantly chasing women is fucking vain. Okay, I want to just say that like that. All right, you gotta be mindful, man. Okay, in 2025, listen, we waiting for Isaiah 4:1, man. Okay, brothers, you gotta truly understand that. In 2025, hey, if you check yourself. If you out here chasing vain box, you better check yourself, bro. You better start reading, because you're not fearing the Lord. You're not fearing, you know what? The Lord could jack me up right now. Even though I'm of the elect, the Lord could jack me up right now. When you go look up what happened to men of the Lord. Ask ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT the other day, like what has happened to certain men of the Lord or loved ones. Immediately it said Job's wife, Job's children. Well, men have lost their wives, men have lost family, men have lost everything. Okay, so you got to be careful. All right, you got to be careful. All right, so let me see what else I got. Vanity, yup. Okay, that was it. Okay, so good. Yeah, like I said, I'm just at work right now. I just want to give an exhortation. I'm kind of in the back, so I hope the audio is good. But I just want to stress that fact, man. Be aware of vanity. Vanity is dangerous. All right, vanity can be addictive, and vanity is not here to bring you closer to the Lord, unless it's used to check you. Okay, unless it's used to check you and then bring you to the Lord. Which actually, I got one more. Let's go to 2 Corinthians real quick. 2 Corinthians 7. And we're in the NLT. All right, check this out, man. This is fire. All right. So this is 2 Corinthians 7. And look, verse 8. It says, I am not sorry that I sent that severe letter to you. So in times past, Apostle Paul had to rebuke men, scare men, but there was a reason behind it. So I hope this lesson, it goes to who it needs to get that righteous flame back under you. Okay, because you got to be careful. You get caught up in that daily vain routine, the vain fleshly chasing women routine. Hey, what's up? Just the everyday boring shit that Babylon gives you. It says, though I was sorry at first, for I know it was painful to you for a little while. Now I am glad I sent it. Not because it hurt you. See, so these open rebukes are not to hurt you. It says, but because the pain caused you to repent and change your ways. See, so we have to go through things, all right, or get admonished, get rebuked, so that it jolts us to change. So let this be a reminder. You change those vain ways. Vanity is dangerous. Okay? Hey, vanity is dangerous. It says, change your ways. It was the kind of sorrow Yahweh wants his people to have, so you were not harmed by us in any way. For the kind of sorrow Yahweh wants us to experience leads us away from sin and results in salvation. So the sorrow that you're feeling in this walk is not to destroy you or kill you. It's to lead to salvation. See? Now, within that sorrow, you want to be mindful that you are not trying to self-medicate that sorrow through, vain things. And then now you're slowly fading away because that sorrow is now being masked with vanity. It says, look at this. It says, there's no regret for that kind of sorrow, right? If you're sorrowful in the truth. But worldly sorrow, which lacks repentance, results in spiritual death. See? Okay? Because you got men that are sorrowful because they lost a job, lost a woman, lost children. It says we're going to get back 100-fold. Okay? So you got to be careful in what you even being sorrowful with. You could go through sorrow over vanity. You got to be careful, man. It says, just see what this godly sorrow produced in you. Such earnestness, such concern to clear yourselves, such indignation, such alarm, such longing to see me, such zeal, and such a readiness to punish wrong. You showed that you have done everything necessary to make things right. So boom. Okay, this is what it's all about. It's all about the correction. It's all about the Lord. You proving yourself. So you could go through certain things, like even within vanity, have sorrow over that vanity. But what that did was it actually put you in a being on fire spirit. You're supposed to be in a on fire spirit, not a sorrowful because what the world ain't doing for you spirit. If you're going to be sorrowful, you be sorrowful because of this truth. You're being sorrowful because you're contrite. You're being sorrowful because you're seeking the Lord while he may be found, and while dealing with this evil, wicked world. But be aware of that sorrow just because some vain shit ain't near you, man. Be aware of that vanity. Vanity is not what's going to bring you to Yahweh Shemel Shai. It's going to take you away. All right. So vanity is dangerous, and be aware of that. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. We're about to enter God mode, man. Do not let this vain place take away the glory that power is coming. Spiritual power is coming. The kingdom's coming. Yahweh Shai is coming. And we cannot equate vanity to our happiness and gladness in comparison to prophecy, man. That's a spirit that you got to rebuke. Okay, so vanity is dangerous. I just wanted to do that quick lesson. I prayed that it was edifying. And I just want to say, call halal, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to my elders, bishops, and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. Peace, safety, and salutations to the Lord's elect. With that being said, shalom.